Hi guys, my name is Bogdan Mihai, I'm a fine art photographer, and in this video I will take you to a journey about how I photograph an old car. If you like this video, please consider to subscribe to my channel. And saying that, let's go! Okay, so here we go. The wreck car I'm going to photograph today is very close in my neighborhood in a little piece of forest, I should call it, right? It's a very small thing. It's probably belongs to somebody, but it's an open kind of space, so I don't feel like I'm trespassing anything. It's a beautiful day today, beautiful neighborhood here in Huntsville, Texas. I promise you're gonna like it and you're gonna learn how to apply the method I'm using to other projects you may want to photograph. In case you didn't realize yet, my thick accent, which I like to call it my Draculian sort of accent, is a Romanian accent. So the things I photograph with are, of course, my camera, which in this case I'm gonna use a Nikon D700, a flash. I'm carrying with me two tripods. Basically, one is for the camera and the other one is to help me hang the flash somehow. I have to have it on a stand so I can project the light from different angles. Okay, so I'm going to park the car over here. This is my spot for now. Okay, so here I am. I am going to load myself with a camera and, as I said earlier, with a tripod and a light stand. Hopefully I can carry all this with me. It's not a long way. Now the only thing is, this time it rained quite a bit over the weekend and hopefully it's not very wet out there. So wish me luck. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to show you in a second this beautiful, I think it's a Chevy. I'm not a very good car guy, but it looks like a Chevy to me. Yeah, how about this? Is that pretty? And I'm going to show you guys how to make this beauty spark, basically. I'm just gonna go all around to take a look of the field, and apparently somebody had a beer recently here. There's a can out there, but we'll take care of that later. I'm also afraid of snakes. There could be quite a bit of snakes. It's the season actually here in Texas. Very nice. So look at this. Absolutely stunning. So saying that, I'm just gonna go ahead and start the shooting session. As I said before, for this project, I'm going to use a light stand, a very light one. I am going to have the camera mounted on a tripod, and I am going to shoot with a Nikon D700. And if you are curious about the lens I'm using, that it's 24 to 70 millimeters. And this is the light. It's a very good flashlight and very inexpensive. So I'm just gonna go and mount everything and find the right angle. Well, I kind of like this angle here, right there. Fabulous. Yeah. And I'm ready. So I'm just gonna put the camera aside and I'll try to speak with you as I'm taking these multiple shots and changing the flashlight. So at first I'm just gonna take a flat, simple photograph without using any flashlight. So for that I'm going to turn off the flash for a second. Also because I want to be, in this particular case, very crispy image, I am going to shoot with a high f-point, in this case f8, and I'll adjust the aperture accordingly. So if you guys don't have a light meter, you may need to adjust the flash as you go so that it doesn't power up too much light, because that will destroy your image. That was very good. So now I'm just gonna power the flash, and first I am going to place the flashlight around the car. About here I think it's good. I will try. I may need to move probably the flash a bit just to adjust it, but I think that's a good angle. Alright, so this is done, and you know what I'm gonna do next is try to place the flash inside the car, because there is so much going on inside. The rust and the decay is so advanced that I'd like to capture some of that magic from inside as well, and colors, and there's a lot of stuff going on there. I may need to take several shots in here on different positions of the light, and then combine them in Photoshop. Okay, so here I am on the other side of the cabin, placing the light differently. Let's see what kind of lighting we get here. I may need again to adjust this accordingly. Now I think everything looks good, and I think we covered up all the dark spots. The only problem I think now is that the front of the car is not very well lit. So what I would like to do is to brighten up the headlights. They are broken, but still the paint is white, and the light would be captured very, very nicely. So let's take that shot before we leave. I don't have a lot of need of a tripod right now. I'm just gonna place the flash in front of the car somehow, hidden between these logs. And let's take the picture. Okay, we have one more shot to do. It's lighting the tree behind the truck, and we call this a wrap. And then we're gonna move to the studio to put these pieces together. Okay, I think we got it. It has been a lovely day. The land wasn't that wet. As I said before, last weekend here in Huntsville, Texas, rained quite a lot, and I was afraid I'm going to get super muddy. I'm in the studio now and trying to process those pictures I took of the car in the forest. So as you see, I work with Lightroom and Photoshop, and let's start the process. First thing first, I'm going to select several photographs where the flash has been placed differently. So I know that the first one is that one, and then I'm just gonna get a random one from here. I see that this has some light inside the cabin, so that's a good one. And I know that I photographed, if you remember, the front of the car, and that would be this one. You see, here the headlights are not as wide as this one, so that could be an interesting one. I photographed some trees behind toward the end, and this is one of them here. You see the flash behind the car over here. So now it's very simple. You are going to take these shots into Photoshop, and to do that you right click on these ones and choose Edit, Open as Layers in Photoshop. And what Lightroom does is taking all these multiple shots into a single project in Photoshop, and from there we're gonna have to align them, because no matter what, the camera moves a little. So to keep everything in focus and sharp, we need to make sure all these layers are aligned before we do anything. And it's going to take a while depending on your machine, the capability of your computer. Everything is in Photoshop, and I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers. And now I'm going to go to Photoshop and align them. So to do that, you have to select all the layers, and then you go to Edit, and then all the way around middle there is Auto Align Layers, and you do that, you leave it as auto, and it will take Photoshop a minute or so to do that based on content. The next step is to let Photoshop do the auto blending. That means it will read for you the highlights, the shadows, and the crispiness of the pictures. So let's start that. You go to Edit and you select Auto Blend. From here you stack images based on seamless tone and colors, and you can select the content aware fill transparent areas. That will make your workflow a little easier. Photoshop created a merge file all the way on the top, and because it looks great so far, I am just going to edit even more this final file. The other ones that you have here below are all having mask. You can put it in a folder if you don't want to work with so many layers, and you can even lock it so that it doesn't interfere with you. So far so good, I'm happy with the result, but I want to add some magic to it, and for that I am going to take this photograph in camera raw settings. I want to change a little the green, I want to darken a little the green. To do that, you go to the color mixer and play with the greens and the yellows. And I'm going to darken up a little. Maybe it's too much color. Now I want to add some color to this truck. I want some red and some oranges. There's a lot of colors going on there. Look at that, it's fantastic. Now I am going to bring up the dodge tool, and I'm going to paint a little around the areas of the car, just to make it pop a little more. You can use just a little mouse if you don't have a pen. I do have a tablet with a pen, which helps me greatly to retouch little areas and fine areas. But again, you should be able to do that just using a regular mouse as well. So as I said, I'm selecting the top layer. I'm going to select the dodge, it's already there, and just paint a little, you know, maybe exposure. I would start with exposure 40% right now, and just paint here and there, bring some highlights and shadows. Look at that, isn't that great? But it's not over yet. What I want to do is to add a little mist to it. So to do that, I am going to create a layer on top of the car. I'm going to fill it all the way with white. And then I'm going to go to filter, and I'm going to choose render and clouds. Doesn't even look like a cloud or like a mist, right? So to create that structure of a mist, you're gonna need to stretch these pictures left and right, and this is how I do it. Just stretch this layer all the way out. That feels like almost like a fiber, if you want, you see? And then once you're happy, select this frame, and I'll just do a Control C and Control V and delete that long, gigantic file from behind. So if you want to take it a little further, you can take the smudge tool and create some uneven waves. Again, I don't know what kind of computer you have. This smudge tool, it's a very slow tool, so it may take you a while to process all that image. I think I'm happy with what I see right now, and next you need to go to blending mode and change it to screen. Look at that, almost there, but not quite. Change the opacity of these layers to 30%, create a mask over, and just paint out the unwanted whites so that everything looks asymmetrical and natural. So I'm happy with the image. Next, I'm going to merge this mist layer with the actual car. Then I'm going to apply a sharpness to it. For that, you need to duplicate the layer, make it a smart object, go to Filter, Other, and choose High Pass. On here, I think 1 it's plenty. Once done, you go to the blending mode and choose linear light. So I want you to see the details. This is with sharpness, this is without. With, without. If you think that the sharpness level is too high, you can always go to the opacity and lower the opacity of this layer, or if you want to keep the sharpness only in some spots of the image, like the car itself, you always can create a layer mask and brush out the unwanted sharpness, like this. If you think even that one is too much, you can always lower the whole opacity of this layer, and that it makes it more realistic in a way. And we're done. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my tutorial, and if you did, please do like and subscribe my channel. It will be very helpful for me. And if you do have any questions, please do write your question in the comments below, and I will always get back to you with suggestions and ideas. I'll see you guys soon with more tutorials and more ideas on how to process your photographs. Bye now.